Welcome. My name is Sean Siebold. I'm president and founder of Siebold Capital Management. So, we gave you a little bit of insight into the story of the Wizard of Oz in our last video. Today we're going to get into the deep and dirty depth of this story, which is not what you think it's about. Let's talk about the Wizard of Oz. What is the Wizard of Oz all about? Well, in our previous video, we talked a little bit about that Oz. What does it stand for? Well, it actually stands for ounces. So let's get into the details to why it's called the Wizard of Oz and ounces. So we all know this story. It's just for children, correct? Well, maybe not. So let's talk about what it really is about. It's about monetary policy. Yeah, let's get into some of the details here. First, we have to talk about what money is. What makes money necessary? Lots of things in this area. First, we need money to take us off a barter system. So if you sold corn, wheat, if you sold cows, how would you buy and sell different things that you need? If you sold corn but you wanted a cow, how much corn would you have to sell to get the cow? What if you could only buy part of it? That would be problematic. So the barter system was very, very inefficient. We needed some kind of monetary system to do that. Both parties didn't have to have a need in the barter system, but when you have money, you don't. So if somebody has money and you have a cow, you don't have to sell the entire cow in order to get what you need. Perishable goods have a non-perishable value. So therefore, again, you can hold money. So money is what's called a store of value. So money is stored in metals to make sure that the currency doesn't rely on just an intrinsic value. So way back when currency started, you wanted to make that currency something that was valuable, and it was usually done with metals. Okay. So let's talk about some other monetary issues in the past. The U.S. Constitution in 1789 let Congress coin money and to regulate that value. So we needed some kind of law in order to do that. Okay, before the U.S. used a silver foreign currency, and we had what was called a bimetallic standard. Okay, so bimetallic, there's two metals. Those metals were gold and silver. Okay, so what happened then is we started putting together ratios between gold and silver. So there was a ratio of 15 to 1, which pushed down the value of silver because gold was 15 times more valuable, and pushed gold out of circulation because people couldn't afford it. So that was not, if you had a bimetallic standard, that was not good because essentially you're forcing to one metal or the other. Okay, so to bring back gold, the 1834 Coinage Act was created. So we brought back gold, and then we got the ratio of 16 to 1, silver to gold ratio. People then sell, now because that was not actual values, there was an arbitrage that was available. So people would sell silver abroad for gold and buy more silver. They would make money on the arbitrage. That wasn't good as well. So eventually what happened? Ulysses S. Grant, 1873, furthered the Coinage Act. So basically he got rid of silver. So it had been demonetized. This is where our story of Oz begins. That just laid the foundation. Okay, so when was the Wizard of Oz written? Mostly in 1899. Okay, so this was a little bit after, well, let's get to some of the details. It was an allegory for a political movement in 1896. We had money deflating for years. Okay, why was money deflating? Because we only had gold as a standard. And if we couldn't produce enough gold, the value of gold per goods and services would in fact decline. So what the book does is it takes the story of a populist. Okay, so this story was actually based on a populist candidate for president named William Jennings Bryan, who made a very famous speech that said, "Please do not hang my people on a cross of gold," meaning deflation, we need inflation because we need the values of things to go up in order for our farmers to sell their goods and services. We needed to add silver to the money supply. That would make the values go up. Okay. Now, who is Dorothy? Who's this Dorothy Gale? So she was stereotypical for the everyman person. Okay. So she was essentially, again, taking the story of William Jennings Bryan, who was the Trump of the day, and trying to stereotype her into every person's view on the economy. It was a simple life in the country. Okay, kind, free-spirited, that's who Dorothy was. She represented the citizenry, the population. Okay. Even her dog in the story, Toto, is actually a play on the word teetotaler, which essentially were those that didn't that didn't drink. Okay, so it was usually in the right place. They were the same people that would want silver as well. Then the cyclone comes along. What was the cyclone? Well, the cyclone took Dorothy from Kansas to the land of Oz. Where is the land of Oz? The land of Oz, is, of course, is DC. So it swept up everybody and took her to DC. So this follows the popularity of William Jennings Bryan, keeps that story going. And so it begins. Dorothy's house lands on the Wicked Witch of the East, the populist representation of Grover Cleveland at the time. He was a huge force in removing silver. He wanted silver out, but became politically dead quickly thereafter. The Wicked Witch left behind silver shoes. So many people go, well, Dorothy's shoes, they were red. Yes, Dorothy's shoes were red in the movie. Dorothy's shoes in the book were silver. So she was taking her silver shoes to Washington. The reason that they changed that is because silver doesn't show up in Technicolor. So when the movie came out, they needed something that would show a little bit better in the movie theaters. And ruby red was what came out. It's actually silver. It's what color the shoes are. Okay. The Munchkin people of the East, who all wear blue, they, of course, urged Dorothy to go to the Wizard of Oz and the Yellow Brick Road. And here we have it, the Good Witch of the North. The road to the City of Emeralds is paved with yellow bricks. You cannot miss it. When you get to Oz, do not be afraid of him, but tell your story and ask him to help you. Goodbye, my dear. So there is going to Oz, going to the East Coast, going to Washington, D.C. on the Gold Road. Read Washington, Gold, D.C., and the Free Silver Supporters of Maine. So this story continues. Look for the next video from Seawell Capital.